What episode is this, Nikki?
Is it 19?
Maybe 19.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
We're a day late on this.
We are a day late. We want to make note of Davis Nolan retiring from television. One of the true good guys in the whole business, right?
So true.
You named him Uncle Davis. I believe it was you who coined that. And that was very fitting for him.
He's the best because he's everyone's favorite. And on top of being like the kindest, most genuine person, the uncle to everyone, he's also very, very good at his job.
Smart.
He's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember one day he was sitting there explaining to me how the next rad radar is built.
Yeah.
Right. And he was going through the construction method of it. And I'm like, now there's a guy who's a little bit knows more about weather than probably most.
Everyone. Yeah.
So we wish him luck and
Cheers
hopefully
to you,
lots of time fishing.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's his true passion. Other than his family and his daughter. Fishing and
playing music
and living and playing music there too.
Yeah, we love you, Davis.
Let's see what else is going on. This is an important episode, and it is because if you know someone who's going through transitions in their life, changes in their life, disruption in their life, I think if you talk to someone that's gone through it, maybe just a little bit farther down the road than you might get some good ideas, or you might get some encouragement, right?
Yeah, this guest was some stories that haven't been told before, right?
These are stories that haven't been told before.
Yeah.
No. So we look forward to that, and we'll jump into that in just one moment. Thank you again to Simon Says for my Mavi pants here. And I'm not sure what the shirt is, but we appreciate them down in Wedgwood, Houston. So
we love them.
They're doing great.
What am I'm wearing?
Their business is doing great.
This is Veronica Beard in Green Hills, and my jeans are Cezanne in 12 South.
Mm-hmm. I'm having the hardest time not telling what you did yesterday, so I'm not going to. We'll save it for a future episode.
Oh, I think what? That deserves a deep dive with a guest who's an expert on that.
Is that the right word you want to use for that?
I think so.
Okay. If you only knew. I feel terrible for not saying it was a colonic. Anyway, so we'll move on here, and then anything else going on with you? How's that new house working out?
Good. We don't have drapes.
Did you figure out the coffee maker yet?
No. I mean, it can make coffee. I don't know how to make lattes yet, which is why I have this in my hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, we'll go to our guest in just one moment, who right now is a mystery you haven't even introduced. So he'll roll the open, and let's get into it. So yes, our unidentified guest is Nikki.
Hey. When
you first left Channel 2, we had a quick podcast where we were very cryptic and our answers were very halfway put together. And we said we would come back when the time was right, and we would tell your full story of your departure from Channel 2. All right. So with that in mind, I want to read this.
Are we doing this?
We're doing this.
Okay, we're doing this.
This interview reflects Nikki's account of her experience. It represents her perspective and only her perspective, and should be understood as her personal version of the events. If that's not intriguing enough to get you to watch this podcast, then nothing else I say
Do
will.
I need to retweet that? Do I need to share that?
No. But
this is my truth. This is my reality. This is what happened.
Here's the fact.
This is the truth.
TV people love talking about themselves, right? So
Absolutely.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
But I do think there's some important lessons here, because some of the things you've said to me have been kind of prophetic and a little profound at times, just on the departure from a career when it's not your will.
Yeah.
So let's just say it.
I was fired from Channel 2.
You got your butt canned.
I was
from
fired.
Channel 2.
I got fired.
And you're looking at a picture right now. Somewhere in this picture is the exact triggering device that ended it all.
We'll address it later.
We'll address that later. Yeah. Sure smells good though.
Yeah.
I want to talk about why did you wait? Like you've done little posts on social media, and we've talked a little bit about it, but you never really came out and said, I was fired until just now.
It took me a while to even say anything, because I had the flu for a while, and then I was just gone. I came back for a day and then I was gone. Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot of people are like, oh, she's sick, or oh, she's on vacation, because I guess I took a lot of vacations. Never enough.
No comment.
And now I'm on a permanent vacation. But it was it didn't feel right. And you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube for something like this.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I said the right words, the truth, and I didn't want to speak from emotion because I was hurt and I was mad, still a little mad, but now I'm grateful and thankful. And truthfully, this is the God's honest truth. The second it happened, it was relief and it was a moment of gratitude. But of course, there were other moments of that. And that's why I took some time. And the social media post that you did see was still cryptic, but it was like, wasn't my choice, but I'm very happy and I'll share more. But people want to hear the nitty gritty. They want to hear they want the tea.
You don't hold any grudges.
No.
Okay. Did you see it? So I wasn't there. I'd gone a few months before you.
Yeah.
For my own particular reasons. And did you see it coming? Like, where was the writing on the wall?
Oh my! I mean, you want to talk about your feelings because you were like, Nikki.
Well,
Nikki,
you called me up one day or texted me or something like that, and you were called in for a meeting, right?
Oh, when the start of it all.
Well, I think this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go back 3 years when we were taking off the 11 o'clock news?
That's what I was alluding to.
So,
I was alluding to that because I felt like you were kind of saying then, you were like, things are changing. You said, I'm going to be gone soon and you need to be thinking because you're going to be next.
We were called into a meeting and we were congratulated on a big profile increase at the station. They were going to take us off the 11 o'clock news and turn us into reporters occasionally for the afternoon shows there.
Yeah. And after anchoring a morning show.
Right. And I loved my old schedule because I'd do the morning show, I'd go to the gym, and then I'd go do the 11 o'clock news, and then anything else that came up. And for me, it just worked, right? At 58, 57, it just worked. And when we left that meeting, we were walking down the hallway to go back to the newsroom, and I turned to you and said, the change is coming. I get the feeling, and again, this is my personal opinion, I get the feeling that they're just going to make things so uncomfortable for us that we go on our own because we know what's happening in the business. They're going with lower cost all around.
Trimming their bottom
like
line.
That.
You've seen the acquisitions from our company that are happening right now.
Those of us with long in the tooth are not bigger numbers on the balance sheet, and we stand out after a certain point, I think, and that's my opinion. So you didn't see it coming when you were actually fired. You were called into a meeting, right?
Yeah, I had been. Let's see, I think I was called in on a Monday, maybe. I don't even remember the exact day I was called in first, but it was after the morning show, and I just got an email from the boss and the news director, and they said we need to see you in the big boss's office, and I was like, well, that's weird. What's that about? And you had been gone not too long. I mean, what? This was February, so you've been gone like 2 months at this point, not even. And so I'm thinking they just want to discuss like the new direction of the show and that.
Well, they did.
They did. It
was a new direction without you.
And they, and they said, sit down, we need to talk. And I was like, oh, okay. And they said, did you post this on social media? And I said, well, yeah, that's my account. And they pulled up, there's this blog, and I will not give weight to this blog because it does not deserve it.
No.
They've damaged a lot of lives and said a lot of horrible things, and I will not give them weight. But it is a silly thing that people read in the news business, and the only people who care about it are people in the news business. Nobody outside the news business cares. So it was sent to this blog. It was a screenshot of something that I posted. And I said, yeah, well, that's my account. And they said, well, can't do that. And I said, well, what do you mean? Like, everyone's doing it. I don't understand. And I said, well, you're not allowed to do that. And they're like, okay, well, we'll talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So I think like nothing's happening, right? I'm thinking like, okay, cool. Like that was it. They really just don't do it again, pretty much. Which is what happened to several other people.
Am I wrong? But there had been a warning prior, right? And a memo sent out about doing stuff on social media. Right?
Yes.
So just for pure transparency.
Absolutely. And that's kind of a known thing. Like in this business, you're not allowed to post this kind of stuff, which I will tell in just a moment.
Yeah.
But everyone kind of does it. It's just kind of like, don't be a jerk about it. Don't be obnoxious about it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I guess mine stood out because somebody took a screenshot of it, somebody that we used to work with, and sent it to this blog, and it got on the blog, so it got their attention.
So it goes to everyone at corporate down in Dallas sees it, and what's your girl up in Nashville doing?
And then they have to address
She's
it, right?
She's embarrassing us.
Yeah.
I'm the blog.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, we're going to talk about it. We'll get back to you kind of thing. I truly forgot about it. I didn't think anything about it. Like, I went back to work. I was starting to not feel great that day, and I got the flu.
That was the flu. Okay.
So I was out for like 5 days with the flu, and I felt so bad. But you know how it is when you're out sick for more than 2 days in a row, like you start to feel guilty. You start to feel like, because they don't really fill the holes. They just like put more work on other people.
You know that everyone else in that newsroom is working harder.
Because of you. Yeah. So you feel bad. So you're like, oh, I'm just going to suck it up and go. I wasn't contagious anymore. I just felt like crap. So I go in, and if people remember watching my last day on air, it was a Friday, and my voice sounded terrible. Like, they stopped giving me scripts to read. Yeah. It was bad. I looked terrible. I had bags under my eyes, but I was like, I just got to make it through the show, and then I'm going to go home. So the show ends, and I have another email from the bosses. Hey, can you come up and chat with us? And I'm like, yeah, what is...
I really feel awful, but okay.
It wasn't even registering to me like this was a follow-up to the other meeting. Yeah. Again, I've been sick. I wasn't thinking about it, and it wasn't a big deal. So I go up there, and they had pulled up, again, the posts that I had made on my Instagram story. Same one. And they said, we're going to ask you again, did you post this? And I said, yes. And then they pulled out my website and all these other things that I have, like all my other social media. And I was like, yeah, these are all things that I share. You all want me to connect with this community. Mm-hmm. The way I do that is by sharing things that I genuinely enjoy and use and like, places I go. People have been watching my daughter since she was born prematurely, our friendship, my husband, our anniversary. Like, they come into our lives, which I'm thankful for, and they trust us. And I feel like I enjoy sharing things. I'm an open book. I've always been like that. And so it was kind of an extension for me of just like, oh man, I really like this. I'm going to share this with people because I get questions every day. Where did you get that lipstick? Where did you get that blazer?
The cynical people watching this right now are like, well, you're also making a lot of money from that stuff.
That is not true.
Okay. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's not true.
It's like, oh, here's Nikki. She's making like a whole bunch of money on the side by using her stature at Channel 2 to push products. That's the cynic.
And that's not true either.
That's not true.
Yeah.
But there's an age-old thing that we sign in contracts called plug-ola and pay-ola and stuff like that. And it's an ancient type of phrasing on it. Yeah. But they can apply to just about anything they feel like they can apply it to.
For that reason.
So
explain what that is. It's saying you can't endorse a product.
You can't plug and you can't receive money for getting a product or promoting a product, something like that. And it really was back in the radio days. When DJs would, they were getting handed all sorts of gifts and stuff this to play certain albums and records. So they had to put this into there. And it's just kind of gone through. And then for politics
too. Like, we don't want a politician to be paying for us to say favorable things about their candidate on air. That's very troublesome.
Which is absolutely egregious. And anything that you promote, if it had anything to do with your job, I would be the first one online saying, no,
absolutely.
You're gone.
And I feel like I have always had good boundaries with that. Mm-hmm. And I don't talk about politics. The only people who know how I vote are like my close friends. Right. And I love people on both sides. I do not care how you vote. I also don't want you to know how I vote. So to me, that's the boundary that I always had. I didn't talk about that stuff on social media. It didn't have a place for it. Nobody should know how I vote because both sides should be mad. I should get emails from liberals and conservatives.
Right. That was a good day.
You're an idiot. That was a good day, right? When I pissed both sides off.
Right.
So that was kind of a boundary that I had. And I thought, if I'm not sharing that, because to me, that's the most divisive thing in our world right now, right? Is politics. It's also one of the most important things right now is to share both sides and to be fully transparent about what's happening in our country. And I thought, if I can hold that boundary and do that, and then if I also just don't disparage my employer and say bad things and be a good person, that's enough, right?
Right.
That should be, if you're a good employee, you do a good job.
Well, it
should be that simple.
It should be that simple, but it's not. It's a business full of contracts and stuff like that, egos, contracts and stuff.
Of course.
But you see it all. I follow news people from around the country, and I see it a lot where the products are just coming in. You know, whether it's the energy drink in the hand or whether it's the free round of golf or the free, whatever, you see it and you know what's going on right there. And I remember going to golf tournaments and being handed like bags and shirts and stuff. And when I first got to town, I was like, I am not allowed to take this.
Right.
And I would leave the golf tournament and leave my little fun bag there. And then after a while, you're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. But I don't need another shirt, but it's okay to take it.
Yeah.
What was this product that you were endorsing?
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were going to say.
It's really hot outside.
You smell ripe.
Yeah, it's really hot outside. So just, But this is Dime Beauty, Dan Lebois. One of my favorites.
I don't know if you're holding the label up and your microphone's cutting out because you're not.
This is Dime Beauty, Dan Lebois. This is a delicious perfume.
Okay.
If you're looking for it. I wear it almost every day.
It is so great that you will find yourself unemployed if you wear it.
Yeah. It's magic.
That was the product.
I posted a link to a perfume.
Is it a good perfume?
Yeah. Yes, I love it. Dime Beauty is one of my favorite lines. I wear a lot of their products. I wear all of their perfumes. I have like 6 of them.
She's just a natural product pitcher. You can't even help it.
Listen, if you're going to tell me to do that, then I'm going to do that. But I do enjoy it. It's my favorite perfume. I wear it all the time, and it's very natural and truthful. This is the God's honest truth.
Tell me.
Wore it yesterday, and somebody stopped me and said, "Excuse me, what is your perfume you're wearing?" And I told them that's what it was.
Ode to unemployment?
I know.
So you spray this on, and you will not be working tomorrow.
Maybe
I guarantee it.
Like a collab with them. It can be called like Fun Employment or.
Okay, let's get back.
So I posted a screenshot of this perfume and said, "I just got this in. I've been wearing it. I love it. Here's a link to it, and you can use my discount code."
Okay. And that's trouble.
That's trouble.
So they bring you up, they show you your website, your commerce site, they show you the posts again of your perfume, and they say what?
They say, "Did you get paid for this?" And I said, "No."
You said no. Well,
I didn't get paid for this.
So explain that. If you're getting a discount code, what's the transactional
They sent me the product
history
for
there?
free.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't get paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's, again, and we're going to get into this in a minute. I want to get back to you getting the actual moment that all this started to make sense to you, because I think there was one more meeting after this.
No, this was, yes, there was one more meeting after this.
Okay.
So this meeting, the day I came back to work after being sick, and they're pulling all these things and they're saying all this, and do you make money off this? You can't do this. And that's when I started to say, like, I understand what you're saying. Totally understand. If you want me to stop doing that, like, whatever, it's fine. I disagree because I think it's a great way to connect with our audience. But everyone does this. Now, does that make it right? Like, when your mom says, "Don't jump off that bridge," well, everybody's jumping off the bridge. Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, we get it. It doesn't make it right, but
right.
But the time, everything's changing. All right, so
they say,
so you leave the meeting, and they say
you're suspended. You're suspended on Monday.
Okay.
But we want you to come back in on Monday at 10 a.m. for a meeting, and we'll hear from corporate by then.
What did I say?
I'll tell you. Well, I called, and the first thing I do is I call my husband, and he's like, "What? Are they going to fire you?" I was like, "I don't think so. I mean, this is so ridiculous. I saw so-and-so post something like this the week before, and so-and-so post something like this and get on that blog 3 months ago, and they were still there." So I was like, no. I mean, also, and my husband was like, "They're not going to fire you. You're the oldest woman there. You're in a protected class as a woman above 40. You have a disability. You're in a protected class there. Also, with Neil leaving, like, you're the only, like, stable thing on the morning show, and people like you, right?" And I was like, "I think so." He was like, "I mean,
apparently they don't like you."
Yeah, he was like, "You're not really giving."
Apparently the research came back and they just didn't like you.
Yeah, he was like, "You're fine. You're fine." He was like, "Yeah, we'll talk about when you get home." And so the second person I call is you. Mm-hmm. And what did you say?
"You're fired."
Yeah.
I didn't even.
No, you didn't say that directly to me. You were like, "Oh, I mean,"
well,
and then you called my husband.
Yeah.
And you said,
"Yeah, she's fired."
Yeah.
Just start making plans.
Yeah.
But it's because they kicked the decision out of
to corporate
mm-hmm. out of when they do that, that's like
them absolving themselves.
Right. We're going to and again, these are our opinions, right? We don't want to stir too many drinks at once. But the writing was starting to become a little clearer. Do you think to yourself that you were like, okay, like maybe Justin and Neil. It
felt different for sure. But then my husband was still like, you're not going to get fired. Like, you're just going to have to be more careful. And I was like, okay, fine. And this is the truth, Neil. When I left that meeting and I was suspended, my first thought was, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. And I got excited. And then I called Justin and he said, you're not going to get fired. And I was disappointed. And I thought, wait, why do I feel, I'm a big feeling person. Like I'm an empath. Like I feel other people's energies and feel like when somebody's in a bad mood, like I can feel it and it affects me. And I felt this like energy of just being very heavy when I thought I wasn't going to get fired.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? Like, why do I feel like this? It was like a pressure on my chest. And I just kind of brushed it off. I didn't think about it. Had a great weekend with my family. Was finally feeling better. I really didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Honestly. I thought I was going to go in on Monday and they were going to be like, you're either suspended or like.
Slap on the wrist, go, move on.
Yeah, you got to stop doing. Because again, 2 other people did something almost exactly the same. Not perfume, but exactly the same.
Yeah.
Posted it, gone on the blog, and they were both told, don't do this again. And you're good. They were not suspended.
Yeah.
They were not fired.
And I will tell you, over my 30 years, I've seen some crazy things happen in a newsroom that people were not fired for.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And so you're kind of like, TV stations just don't have it. They don't really fire people. It's
hard to fire someone in any industry, right? You got to have a lot of, and they did have cause. They did have cause. I did breach my contract. Let's clear the air. I'm not saying like I'm innocent.
Right.
I'm saying, yes, I broke my contract based on what they are saying that I did and what is in my contract.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole thing of social media and endorsing products and stuff like that has really kind of gained steam the past just 5 years.
Yeah.
Really, for the most part, the whole thing. As we've, as a society, have learned how to monetize the internet, it's taken people that have audiences and using them as their advertising vehicles.
Right.
And now with so many kids coming into TV, and I say kids because most of the kids are on parental scholarships when they come work.
I was
in local news, right?
My parents and he was my boyfriend at the time, but my now husband were paying. My husband paid for my gas and my cell phone bill. My parents paid for my rent.
Right.
My groceries. I made like $18,000 a year.
Right, which used to be the case in Bangor, Maine, and Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah.
Now it's the case here. So now a lot of kids are coming in and they're getting paid.
Hustle.
They got a side hustle, or if they're not on a parental scholarship, they have to earn money somehow.
So they're saying we're not going to pay you a livable wage, but you can't go make money elsewhere.
No.
And we could not, weren't you trying to get a job as a bartender one time?
Well, you can, if you get approval from them, you can go make money elsewhere. Because I went out and I wanted to get a second job driving, actually, and possibly bartending. And they kind of didn't really like the idea of their morning guy out driving. Yeah. Right.
They told another guy who's no longer there. He was trying to take another job in real estate, and they told him he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So he left.
So this is going to be something, and this is an issue that they're just going to have to address at some point.
They have to address it. But
how do you do that? I don't know.
How do you do that? There does have to be some boundaries, right? And I do understand that. But they're idiots if they don't embrace this. I'm not saying make news anchors influencers.
No.
Right? But I am saying there has to be some sort of like NIL deal that we're seeing with college athletes, right? Like we've got, for how long are college athletes, like my brother-in-law was making so much money for the university to play, but then he couldn't afford like basic necessities for himself.
Right.
And so now these college athletes are being compensated, sometimes very generously, for their talents. Is there something like that for news anchors with boundaries? How
do you maintain journalistic integrity? But I think whether we still have journalistic integrity or not is a whole nother discussion, not for here. So, so Monday comes around. And you get, is it another email? Come see us?
No, I knew this meeting was coming.
Oh, so it's scheduled. So
I didn't think about the meeting most of the time. And then Sunday rolls around. I'm starting to get that little anxious. But I'm like, is this a Sunday scaries that I always have? Or is this like because something big is about to happen? So I take my daughter to school and then I go in to the meeting.
You weren't on air because you were suspended.
Yeah, I wasn't on air. And nobody really knew why I wasn't on air. I think they probably just thought I was still sick. And I went in and both bosses were sitting there and they just handed me a piece of paper and said, Nexstar is voiding your contract. You're done. Friday was your last day on air. And I said, oh. I was genuinely shocked. And my reaction was, oh, okay. So that's it. And then they said, we hate that this happened. And one of our bosses said, I always liked you. And I said, okay. And I said, so that's it. And they said, yeah. And they said, we'll send somebody to clean up your belongings. I said, no, I've been here for 8 years. I can clean up my own desk. I said, don't make a scene. And I was like, what do you think I'm going to do? Like Jerry Maguire this place? So I went down and cleaned up my desk and I hugged a few people. I didn't cry because I didn't feel sad.
Yeah. What was the emotion? Yeah.
The emotion was a sense of relief. Yeah. And I have not felt that sense of relief in a very long time. And I did not know that I was under this weight, that I was just treading water, which is fine. We can tread water for a long time. You tread water for almost 30 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It was fine. But I did not realize that it was not great.
Yeah.
And I thank God every day that I got fired.
So you say that, but in the same breath, you say it took months for you to really talk about this because there is a sense of loss. There is an upheaval that happens in your life, and people have to be able to separate being relieved that you're no longer in that position with the true anxiety that comes with no longer having that position and no longer having the infrastructure. Like we as humans don't like change, right?
No,
we want to keep the routine the same, the weekends the same, with everything the same. And so when it's a change that is not of your making, it doesn't matter how you feel about it.
Yeah, it's scary. And yes, that at first immediate reaction was relief, but then it was anxiety. And my first thought was, am I putting my family in a tough position? And I called my husband. Well, the first thing I did when I walked out of the room was I texted him. I said, I got fired. Cleaning up my desk. I'll call you back. He goes, can I call you now? And I said, no, it's okay. I'm okay. I'll call you right back. So I cleaned up my desk, gave some hugs and said, I loved working with you all. Please don't be a stranger. And they were just kind of like, what? Like nobody knew what was going on because it was out of the blue. And I said, just stay in touch. Like I loved working with you. You were a wonderful person. I think I said that to like 15 people. But again, I wasn't trying to make a scene. I didn't want to be like, I'm gone, you guys.
Yeah.
So I walked out of the newsroom the first time and I took a video of it. I've never posted it, but I was smiling. And then I get in my car and I call my husband. You
have a video of you walking out of the news? Are you kidding me?
No. Yeah. I'll show it to you.
Okay. Well, I think we should show it here.
Yeah.
All right.
I just did like a selfie because I did those all the time walking in and out, like a day in the life with me.
All right. So we'll pause right now and we'll play that video.
Okay.
Okay.
Walking out of the news building. Time. And I feel so at peace about this. And I think that tells me everything I need to know.
So now how do you feel when you look at that video?
I feel the same.
Yeah.
I feel the same. So I get in the car and I call my husband. He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, Justin, did I put our family in a bad position? He goes, Nikki, we're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I believe in you. I have faith in you. And how lucky am I to have that? And a spouse.
Was it later in the day that he got you the unemployment journal, or was it?
We'll get to that. How lucky am I though to have a spouse?
That's what you need. You have to hear that. If you don't hear that, then you go in a bad, dark place.
Yes. But he said, if you're still sitting on the couch in 6 months, like we need to talk, right. But he's like, we're okay. We're going to be okay. We love you. We support you. And the next thing I did is I called my dad and
I was wondering when the colonel was going to come in this. You seem like someone who's very connected to both your parents, your mom and dad.
I called them both, and they both said, "Okay, you're okay. Mm-hmm. You're okay. You haven't been happy there for a long time." Yeah, and they knew that. Oh. They knew I was treading water, and they said, "It's okay. Let's talk. Go home and talk to Justin, and we'll figure it out." And then I called you. And he said, "Okay, I'll be over there in a little bit."
Yeah,
and we were sitting on the couch and you and Carrie and Justin and I and Andy, and we all sat and talked. Mm-hmm. And you said,
I said, trust me, this is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to you. Because and then I laid out the plan, right? Mm-hmm. And so far it's all working out, right? Yeah. We're on track with the plan that I laid out, 4 months ago now?
Has it been
5 months?
Yeah.
So we'll get to that too. Mm-hmm. We're going all different directions. So I want to steer back again to that day. You have great support, obviously, in your life, and you just go through this traumatic event. Mm-hmm. The piece of paper that they handed you, was that giving up any of your rights or anything like that?
They didn't ask me. I didn't get severance. They didn't ask me.
You didn't do a non-disclosure. You didn't do anything like that. No severance. It was just your contract is null and void, which means your non-compete is null and void, which means everything's null and void. I mean, if they say null and void is null and void.
I wouldn't have signed anything if they asked me to, but they didn't even ask me to.
Right.
Which I was very surprised about.
Right.
And yeah.
And TV contracts are kind of a joke anyway.
Well,
they're basically one-sided slave contracts.
Indentured
servitude, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you don't pick this, I've got 15 kids in the closet that will take that job and want to be in front of a camera in 2 seconds. So, bye.
Yeah, 100%.
You're accepting our terms or
I remember,
no terms.
I don't know if you knew this or like this, but when I first got into TV, like 18 years ago, I remember giving my contract to a friend who was a lawyer, and they were like, you can't sign this. This is a bad deal for you. Right. You get nothing. This is bad. You have no rights. And I was like, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way everyone is. I want to be in this job so badly.
Yeah.
And I did. And I signed it. And I have no regrets about that because I loved it so much. I loved being in TV news. Like I loved being on TV. I loved talking. I loved sharing stories for people. I loved meeting people.
And I'm glad you said that, because when we talk about not happy and stuff like this, we're definitely not talking like my best 3 hours of my day were sitting in front of that camera.
Yes.
Those were my best 3 hours a day.
Yes.
Because
after the 3 hours,
I enjoyed that. Right. It was you felt like you're making connection somehow, some way. Not all the stories were connectable, but there were moments that were, and you felt like, in the morning you're getting people going, and that to me is just the best time of the day to be broadcast, right?
I agree.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved going out and meeting people too that I might never have met, and if our paths had never crossed otherwise, and hearing their stories, and then the trust that they would give us to tell their stories. Right. Sometimes the worst days of their life, they would reiterate and retell to us. And then we would have that huge responsibility of taking their words and their story and putting it into something. And I loved that so much.
Yeah. No, it was a privilege. It was, and very few people get that privilege. And there's no doubt about it. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought it up, because I didn't want people to think that you were, when you say I'm happy,
no,
it's not unhappy doing.
I was unhappy with the way things were being run, with management, with toxic behaviors. I would go back to doing a morning show tomorrow if it was under my terms. 100%.
Different terms. And it was very funny because I was asking about the contract just because I had mine looked at, and the lawyer was like, oh my gosh, do they think this is real? It's kind of funny that way, because I remember my dad when he ran WTNH TV in New Haven, Connecticut, and he had an anchor, Pat Sheehan, come to him, and he went to the station next door in Hartford, and they tried to use the non-compete. And this was 60 years ago in a more strict or written non-compete. And the court looked at it and were like, that's a slave contract. Sorry, bye. And Pat went to that station. So anyway, and not much has changed in that terms, but everyone sticks to that stuff now, because let's face it, you may think there are hundreds of local stations around the country, but there's really only 3 companies now doing local news. Yeah. Right?
And
4.
Once you find, it's a very hard formula to find, because we all start in these small towns where it's probably not your home. It's not where you're going to stay forever. Some people start in their hometown and they're happy to stay there. But the dream is you start in a small town and you climb up, like market by market. It doesn't really happen anymore. They're hiring people right out of college now for major markets. But when you and I were coming up, I started in a tiny town in Maryland, and I loved it so much. Right. I was hustling my ass off. Right. I was carrying 40 pounds of equipment. I was shooting, writing, editing, producing a show, then running upstairs and anchoring it.
Yep.
And then I would come downstairs and write it all for the web. And then the next step was you go to a medium-sized market, and you get a little bit more money in a bigger city, and then you move to your large market. And I did that trek. I did the tiny town in Maryland, Hagerstown, Maryland. I did Lexington, my media market. And then I did Washington, D.C.
Yep.
And it was my large market. I made it to a top 10 market. And it was my dream to work in a top 10 market. And then came husband, babies. And I thought, I want to raise my family at home in a place. And I was fortunate enough to get that job in Nashville. And that's where that, so.
Have people reached out from the station afterwards, like offering support and asking what happened, or maybe words of caution, like "What are you doing that I shouldn't do?" Like,
I got all that. I got some of the people who reached out. I was very surprised by, pleasantly surprised. Mm-hmm. People that you think we're not that close, we're just like work acquaintances, but it really warmed my heart. Some of the people that did reach out, I was like, wow. Right. I mean, I always liked you, but I just didn't think you cared about me that much. I thought it was just, and they didn't even say a lot. It was just like, hey, I hate that happened to you. I hope you're going to be okay.
It's almost like approaching someone who's had a death in the family, right? It's
it's a death of your identity.
It's like, how do you, like, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what to say.
Well, I know what.
And there have been people that were let go from the station in the past that I never reached out to. So I can't claim to be the person that does that. But the people that do are really appreciated. Yeah.
I can, because I did that. There was a girl who was fired from our station a few years ago, and I barely knew her. And I reached out and I said, I hope you're going to be okay. I hate this happened to you. And she is okay. She landed on her feet. She's great.
Yeah.
So I foolishly expected the same from many of my coworkers. And there's several I still haven't heard from.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Yeah.
But it's also okay, because it tells me I don't need to make space in my life for them.
Right.
And I have enough friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't hold any ill will to them. Like, whatever. We just weren't that close as I thought we were. I thought we were friends, and I guess we're not.
Right.
Because to me, a friend, when they go through a life change like this, you don't have to call them. You don't have to meet them up for coffee. You just send them a text.
Yeah.
Here for you.
Yep.
You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that from some people, and that really surprised me.
Yeah.
People that I worked alongside every day, right beside me every day.
You almost get the feeling that some people don't want to talk to you because they just
they don't want the bad juju.
I noticed when I still meet up with some old friends, they don't post the pictures with me online because they don't want people at the station to see it.
You're like a pariah.
It kind of feels that way, but because I'm kind of been outspoken about my time there now, and I think that is ruffled some feathers. Yeah. And that's fine. I don't mind ruffling feathers. I feel like if you can't do that, then what are you?
Honest and transparent, which is one thing that you and I have always like bonded over.
Right.
Is of course our self-deprecating humor and our hatred for each other.
Yes.
But then
there's got to be that.
There's that. Being honest.
But it's so weird when you leave TV. I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's like when you leave any job, bartender, even any job. Mm-hmm. When you go out in public, all of a sudden you feel like I'm the emperor without any clothes on.
That's a great way to put it.
Right? It's like you're kind of like walking around like, Because
let's be honest, like being on TV is cool, right? Yeah. Do we think about it every day? No, it is an old hat. It's normal. Do we get nervous? No. But when you go to a party and you meet people, what do you do? And you tell them, it's fun to talk about because it's not glamorous, but people think it is.
People think it is.
And it is kind of a different job, and it's an anomaly, and I mean, I feel that way when I meet people who are like a CIA agent. I'm like, oh my God. And to them, nothing. So kind of the same thing. You just think, who am I without this when I go out to places? And here's a good example is I emceed an event, and they were like, how should we introduce you?
Yeah, right. There you go.
And they said, what's your title? We need a new title and a new headshot. And I was like,
former media personality. I don't know.
I said,
ChatGPT, what am I?
What am I?
Who am I?
So that's a big struggle.
Yeah.
But I will say I got, going back to other people reaching out after I left, I heard from several people at our station and at other stations.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me what you're doing.
Right.
I want to know more.
Right.
I'm miserable.
Right.
I've
gotten those calls too. Mm-hmm. I've actually had,
and I welcome them.
Yeah.
I will tell you everything.
Right.
If you are that person and you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, I promise you that you are an employable person. You have highly, highly sought after skills, and you will be happier on the outside, and you will be employable outside.
We will talk about this coming up in just in a little bit there. There's a lot of people that will isolate themselves when they've lost their job and been fired unceremoniously. You did not do that.
Yeah, well,
you purposely put yourself out there.
Because I had momentum. Everyone was calling me and texting me or social media, where are you? Yeah. And I thought, I need to tell my story. Otherwise somebody else is going to. And so then I took to social media and shared it. But I was also sharing things like kind of poking fun at it. Like with my brother-in-law, who is a free agent in the NFL. You
were sharing things that you would not be allowed to share if you were still on TV.
Yeah. Because why not?
I know.
Everything I share and have ever shared has been my truth and important to me.
Well, what were you saying about AJ?
Oh, because he's a free agent in the NFL. So we're both kind of unemployed.
Right.
And
you're both free agents. That's your title, free agent.
That is my title.
Free agent.
So we went out to visit my sister and my nieces and nephew, and I took Andy, and AJ and I were talking about it. And so we just made some funny videos talking about being unemployed. On a Tuesday, what we do.
On a Tuesday, right. Yeah, every day is a Tuesday.
Yeah, every day is a Tuesday.
Something like that. You never had any really dark moments where you just kind of felt like everything come out from underneath you?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. And
no, I think that's good.
I always thought, I don't know if you felt like this. Your exit was very ceremonial.
No, mine was different.
It was beautiful. Totally it was what you deserved.
It was super nice of them the way they did it. I didn't want anything, and they did that, and you played a big part of that. And it turned out I was so grateful and thankful for that. It was my
video was awesome. Nice. Did you ever post the video I made for you?
I don't know.
You need to post it because I put a lot of time into that.
Should we pause now and put it? Do you have it still?
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes long.
It's 3 minutes long?
It's pretty long. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
Okay, we'll post it. You'll post it. So, but ours was very different. So I didn't get that like goodbye. I didn't get that like nice knowing you, Nashville.
You didn't even get a kiss on the cheek. You got a kick in their rear.
Yeah.
Later.
What was I saying before that? I had an important point to make.
You were talking about the way that it happened and the way that you were unceremoniously dumped versus me. There was some sort of comparison there.
I don't remember. I'll come back to it because it was a good point.
But you were posting a lot and you were keeping yourself up. And I think that was the point I wanted to make for someone that's been fired.
Yeah.
You have to keep moving forward, right? You can't, if you stop and start thinking about it, you'll start hearing the ice crack below your feet.
Yes. And when you came over, you told my husband that, I don't think that's not my personality. I don't think I would ever do that, even though I've dealt with depression my whole life. My depression is unexplainable depression. It's not circumstantial. It's like I'm sad and I don't know why I'm sad.
Right. It's cyclical as opposed to situational.
Yes. I was not sad for being fired, but I do recognize that I need to stay busy and do all these things. And you told Justin that. You said, I have a journal. I write down what I do every day and my list, and I wake up and do that. And so the next day I come home from picking my daughter, picking her up from school, and there's I'll post a picture. It was a notebook, and it says Nikki's unemployment journal.
See, he took it a little farther than what I was talking about there.
It was funny. But I do want to go back to something because we talked about this. We talked about how we were both treading water, but we did love our jobs. Mm-hmm. You left at the perfect time. Right. You left on your own terms. You'd been wanting to leave for a long time, but I think the timing was right for you. Mm-hmm. I didn't know my timing. Yeah. I knew that I wanted to do something else. I have always known that I am meant to do something bigger and greater and move on from this. I didn't know what that was, A, and B, it's scary.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable. And when you're comfortable
is a bad thing.
Yes. And life works, right? Like, was it hard? Yes. Was I jumping on rainbows every day at work? No, but it worked. It logistically worked for my family. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping very much. I wasn't seeing my daughter at bedtime. I wasn't waking her up in the morning. And those were big things that I was missing that were slowly eating away at me and hurting our relationship. Yeah. But I would have stayed. I would have stayed probably 3 to 5 more years and then tried to pivot. But at that point, I would be almost 50 and thinking, I have to pivot now.
Yeah.
God knew.
Yeah.
God knew that I was ready to pivot. And he said, oh, you're not going to do this on your own?
He's like, all right.
I'm going to make you.
He's like, all right, try this perfume.
Yeah. I'm going to make you.
There you go.
It's always his timing. It's never ours. So that's an important clarification that while I wasn't thrilled with it, the way things were going, I would have stayed a little bit longer, but I have been wanting to leave for quite some time.
What do people say to you when they recognize you when you're out and about?
I still get stopped and it makes my day.
Yeah.
Because I guess I just forget that people care, and they all say the same thing. Like, we don't watch anymore. We miss you. You and Neil were our mornings for so long. You brought us joy. And that gets me because it brought me so much joy to do that. And when I hear that from people, like it's so genuine.
Yeah.
You made me laugh in the morning. We loved starting our day with you, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my, that's what it is about.
Right. Right.
So thank you. So to people who, and I get messages like that too. And I'm like, God, it's been like 6 months and you guys still care. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought I would be like a blip on the radar, and I am. And I am. We all are. But I thought people would be over it very quickly.
Well, it's, that's the town this is, right? This town is different in that way.
Loyal.
Yeah. And I've talked to friends who've left the television business in other cities before, and they just disappear into the woodwork. Here you kind of, it's just different. I can't, it's hard to explain, but
good different.
Are any jobs safe in TV right now?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like every day I have a friend who works somewhere else, but also in TV business, sending me messages like, "Did you see this? You got out at the right time. Can you believe this?" And I'm just like, gosh. Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I really have concerns about just the future of it, because it's become so fragmented and the audience shares have become so small for the most part. And there's no younger viewers coming into the pipeline for television right now.
I will tell you, whenever I go places, I say I only watched for you and Neil. I don't watch local news anymore, period. I only watched for you guys. And it's too negative. It's too depressing. It's not substantial. It doesn't solve a problem, and I can't trust it. And even the younger people who were never our audience, they never watch this, but they say, "Oh, I don't watch it." And then people my age too, moms in their 40s, we don't have it on in our household. And I don't have it on in my household either.
Right.
It's when every single show talks about nothing but bad things, and not about bad things with a solution or talking about how we can make it better or the bigger picture, just about there's a shooting on the street and we don't have any information and we'll continue to follow it.
I always explain to people that we used to gain new viewers when a mom would bring her baby home from the hospital, and then we'd lose those same viewers the day that baby became old enough to be affected by what they were watching on TV.
That's perfectly said.
Right?
Yeah.
So you get them when they're just born, and then by the time, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't want my kid in front of that TV seeing that.
I don't want,
and then we lose them.
I don't want to have cereal and talk about a homicide.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's not important. We do need to talk, because if there's crime happening in our community and we're not talking about it or we're ignoring it, like that's a problem, right? We should know. But there's a happy medium. There's a balance. There's a way to talk about this. Hey, this is what's happening. We're going to get you all these facts and information. If you want more here, this is where we're going to have it. But let's also talk about this. Yeah. This is what's happening in our schools. This is what's happening in our local government. This is the great fundraiser that the police officer did down in Smyrna. We want to talk about that.
Right.
We want to talk about the bake sale that this incredible kid raised money for. Right. It's just like we've forgotten about all of that.
Right.
And every time I'm out in the public, that's what I hear from people is I want to hear the good. I want to hear more. But when I tell that to the bosses, they always said, well, that's not what the research shows.
I think that the TV stations have tried to do the good news route before.
I'm not saying all good news.
No. I think what's happened is we became so focused on the length of time we spend on subjects as opposed to the quality of the subject versus the time we spend
because
on
they don't want to lose the audience.
Right. It's almost like it's a hamster wheel, right? Get it, move it in, move it out, move it in, move it out. And then at the end of every story, say, go to our website for more details, and there are no more details on the website.
There are no more details.
So I just think that what you have to do is we have to weigh stories on importance and then dedicate time to them. I mean, look, I'd spend 10 minutes watching a news story if it was a good news story, right? As
look at 60 Minutes. That's the proof. Those are
it always use those. But yeah, when you're in it day in and day out, you don't realize the effect it has on you until you're out of it, and then you realize that wow, we carried a big heavy weight around.
Yeah, you said something perfectly that I repeat a lot. Is you said, I feel so much safer.
Yeah.
Since being out of local news.
Yeah, it's true. I just do.
Yeah.
So what does a fired ex-news anchor do to start picking up pieces and start making things work again in their life?
I have never been busier.
And if you think it gives me joy saying fired ex-news anchor, yeah, it does. It's fun.
It is.
No, I'm kidding.
I like saying it too. When people I don't, or who don't know that I've left because they don't watch the news, they're like, oh, so how's work going? I'm like, oh, I got fired. And their immediate reaction is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I say, no. The correct word is congratulations.
Right.
Like, are you okay? Right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I always tell them what happened. What do? I have never been busier. And right. I truly thought when I was like, I'm going to have time to do all of these things. And I do, but I have never been busier because the opportunities are coming. The right people are in my life. And it's just God sets the path out for you and you walk on it and he shows up for you. And
that's in terms of training and speaking and just hosting and all the above.
Yeah.
Selling perfume. Tell me.
Once again, Dan Beauty by Dan LeBois.
Sprayed on today. Never have to worry about work tomorrow.
What am I doing? Okay. I have this podcast with you, which is actually a success.
Yep.
Not that I'm surprised because, but it is.
But you were the one that said you have to be consistent. You have to do it week in and week out or else it doesn't work.
Right. But there are a lot of podcasts. It's a saturated market. So I am doing content creation on social media. Mm-hmm. Cringe or not, I enjoy it. It brings me joy. I like to create stuff but I only endorse products that I do believe in and things that I actually use. But
I have friends here in Nashville who make millions doing that.
Absolutely.
Millions.
The money is there and it's happening. Yeah. And I have been so blessed to hear from my agent has, gotten some wonderful, shout out to Alden. You're the best. Gotten me some wonderful collabs that I'm really excited about and more things in the future.
Alden, please take me on.
And what else am I? Oh, I started a media training company.
That's right.
Where I train people on how to be on camera, how to speak to the media. And that's really fun. And I'm working with
Do you think you're good at that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe a little brushing up on that before you start. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you should take your own course.
I probably should.
All right.
So doing those things, is that all I'm doing?
I think you have more stuff coming, actually.
There's something big on the
Would
horizon.
you do morning TV again?
Yeah, if I wasn't working for a massive company.
If you weren't working, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do morning TV again. I do something in the morning, though.
Something like, I don't know, like light and...
Lighter.
Yeah. Like a light beer, kind of. Like we're not going to do a dark beer. We're going to do a light beer.
A light beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Like a Stella.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, you don't have any grudges. You're okay with everything. Everything's kind of worked out great. It was a God wink to you that you were fired from your job because you were posting pictures. What advice would you have for either Nikki 10 years ago or someone like our friend like Allie or someone who's newer in the business?
I love her.
Yeah. If you could take someone aside now and just sit them down and say, I got some advice I think you need to hear. What would that be?
Well, Allie doesn't need my advice because she's
she's
killing it.
She's killing it. Yeah. I'm just thinking of the young people that come in the newsroom that we take under our wing.
Yes.
And you try to give them the most realistic perspective of what's going to happen in this career without scaring them off completely.
Right.
Right.
What I say and what I will always say is, how bad do you want to do this? Do you want to do this really badly like I did? Like this was it for me. Is all I wanted to do. And I was willing to do anything, like work for nothing, for pennies for it. And I did it. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to work holidays? Are you willing to miss out on important time with your family and live in squalor? I'm just kidding. Are you? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's go. But also have boundaries.
Yeah.
And stand up for yourself. And if something doesn't feel right, stand up for yourself. Stand up to your bosses. If you don't feel safe, stand up for yourself and stand up to your bosses and tell them this is not right. I do not feel safe. They try to send you somewhere in the middle of the night when you're a one-man band shooting by yourself. Do not do that.
Which has happened a lot.
It is happening every day.
It's happening every day, yes.
Do not do that. And then I will say, this one I struggle with because I was raised by my parents who are both such hard workers, and I am a hard worker too. But I have had to have boundaries with that, because if you go above and beyond in TV news, it will become the norm and it will be expected. And instead of giving you a raise to do more work or praising you for that work, they will just keep piling on, and they will eliminate that position that you were adding on to or taking from. And they will just expect it from you. And not all of them, but most of the people high up in TV news, this is their life. Mm-hmm. Their priorities are different than mine in many instances, and they think that yours should be too. They think that missing dinner with your family is okay. Mm-hmm. That working on your phone to send an email to the newsroom is okay. Mm-hmm. Doing something when you should be disconnected from work, you should have boundaries. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Yeah. I had those. I didn't always, but when I became a mother, I had those. When I was not at work, unless something crazy happened, I did not work. Right. And I was very adamant about that. I think that's a very important thing to do. Number one, for our mental health. But number two, for your sanity. Right. Like it's never winning. There are people, I know who you know I'm talking about, somebody who I used to work with, who's one of my closest friends, and I love him dearly, but he worked harder than anybody I've ever met in my life. Yeah. And he burnt out. Yep. Because they expected it from him. Right. But he's still doing it though, you know, and he's still doing it. Yeah. I remember the Christmas morning bombing here, and how guilty I felt after that for not being with my daughter's Christmas morning. Because I was so trained that if something happens in this town, I go to the one place, 441 Murfreesboro Road. That was, it's Pavlovian after a point. Mm-hmm. You don't even think about it. Shoot, I'd just gotten in 2 hours before the bombing happened. Gosh. So you used to define your success by the market size that you were in when you were first coming up. How would you define success now? Being in being in your home where you want to be, right? And this was how I defined it, because Nashville was my success, because I always wanted to be a main anchor. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to be on a morning show. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be in a town with my people that I loved. And I wanted to work at a place where I was surrounded by good people. Mm-hmm. And I did all those things. Mm-hmm. To me, that's success. Climbing the ladder, going to the number one market, going to network and all those things, that used to be my barometer for it. I always thought, that crazy? Yeah, I always thought, like, when I left DC, I will never forget this. I was like ready. I was miserable at my station there. It was, it was hard. I knew it wasn't my home, and I knew it was time to go. Because in TV news, you're 3 to 5 year contracts. And I was coming up on 5 years, and I was like, just starting to feel the itch again. I'm starting to want to climb.
Well, if you don't move, it's like sharks. You have to keep swimming forward or you lose your oxygen. And all of a sudden other markets aren't looking at you like looks like she settled down.
It's been there forever. Right. So I told Justin, I was like, I want to go to network. I want to go to one of the big ABC, Fox, CNN, NBC, CBS, one of those, Good Morning America, the Today Show. That's the dream, right? And he was like, you really want to do that? I was like, yeah, that's what I've always wanted to do. Right. And he was like, you want to go live in New York and you want to do that? I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Right. But I still wasn't 100% sold on it. We came down to Nashville for a wedding, and my agent was like, I told my agent, I was like, I'm not ready to settle down yet. To me, Nashville was settling down. I was like, I'm not ready to settle down yet, but let's go ahead and have set up some meetings. And then I got offered the job, and I almost turned it down. And I told my husband I was going to, and he was like, you're an idiot. Like, I support you, whatever you want to do, but like, no, you should think about all the people you love are in this place. This is an amazing city. Where do you want to raise our family? And I was like, you're right. Thank God I did, because it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And
it's what it doesn't have, it will have. It's still a vibrant place.
I don't want what the other cities have. Right. I don't want.
Right. We're good there.
Yeah.
And if Andy came to you someday and said she wants to be a television reporter and move around from city to city.
I don't think she will, because I don't think it's going to look like this.
I don't think it's going to look like this either.
I think it's going to be.
It's going to be totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, she's way too smart for that. And she is not a people pleaser. She will not bend to anyone if they try to make her do something she doesn't want to do. She's not going to do it. So I don't know that
we have no idea where it goes. Do you want to read the final disclaimer again one more time, just so that we make sure? Okay, I think you need to read this. It's just at the top right there.
This interview reflects my account and my experience. It represents my perspective and should be understood as my personal version of events.
So there you go. The bottom line is you didn't say anything that would be even close to borderline anything.
No, and I didn't.
I read the disclaimer I wrote it and read it for no particular reason, but I wasn't sure how wild you were going to get. But you did. You told the truth. You
did I miss anything?
No. Do you feel like you got it all out? Do you feel like that people have a better understanding of what happened? You were basically busted for hawking perfume online.
Yeah.
You didn't immediately fess up to it, but then you did fess up to it. Then they kicked it to corporate. They brought it back, fired your butt, sent you packing. No ceremonious dumping, just inceremonious dumping. What else?
I don't think I don't have any ill will or anything because I'm so genuinely happy. I think the only place of, I don't know, pissed offness that I hold.
There we go. Come on.
Is that I was held to a different standard than others. That there were, I know of, I can count on my hand. I know you know who they are. 5 people. 3 of which ended up on this site or doing something similar.
The site that we don't mention?
And which corporate found out about it and they were all called into meetings and they were all told, hey, don't do this anymore. Okay. And nothing happened. And that to me is the most upsetting part. Now, what's the difference between me and those people? My age.
Okay.
My position. My salary.
Interesting.
I'm just trying to think of the differences. I mean, we're different people, obviously, but 2 of them are women, significantly younger than me. And I try to rack my brain about what else is different. And I can't. So that's really the only thing, that there were different standards.
Do you think that, you mentioned that it felt like a huge weight off your shoulders and you were relieved when you were walking out and even a little excited when the hint was there that it might happen. Is it possible that they were picking up on that and then they found this opportunity?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, what I'm trying to do is think about every different angle that could possibly be happening here, because I think they knew that I wasn't happy.
Yes.
And I think that when I had that meeting where I told them I wasn't going to, I'm working to the end of my contract, I'm done. And there was no follow-up question like, is there anything we can do? Or,
yeah, it was, okay.
It was kind of like, oh, okay, well.
Thanks for making this easy on us.
Great 30 years. Take care. But I almost feel like they probably picked up on how I was feeling in that newsroom. And basically, it was after we were taking off the 11, I lost all interest in being at Channel 2.
Things changed for you then.
That dropped off. I could not work for 5 hours. I wake up at 1:30. I sit here, I read my headlines, then I would go to work, I would rewrite their headlines just to my style, and then I wouldn't read them. And then we were supposed to, at that point, turn around and start looking for stories to turn, and I was too tired. Sorry.
Same. It is.
And you know what? Your 23-year-old, they can do that.
Yeah.
Your 57-year-old who's been doing this for this long can't.
Your 42-year-old can't do it. It is exhausting. It is mentally and physically exhausting.
That's when I checked out. That's when I think that's why when I announced I was departing, it was, and I was just curious, maybe they were picking up a little bit on something that with you, but.
Probably, because you and I too were one and the same, right? We were grouped togetger a lot, for better, for worse. And so I think that they also knew that I was feeling all of those
So I made
things.
you unhappy?
No. I'm saying I was struggling with, I didn't want to go out and be a reporter after the show.
Yeah.
I don't have every now and then, yes. But every day, no, I don't have my priorities are, I want to do the morning show and I wanted to leave and I wanted to go be with my daughter. And that's not what they wanted. So I think that they did see this, she's not on board with the future of what we want. We want news anchors who are also reporters, who are also going to do 3 other jobs. And that's not me.
I think I'd like to see you do more stuff on this pivot that you've done in your life, because I think it's going to happen so much now.
Yeah.
I was interviewing young lady for an internship at this new company that we're getting going here pretty quick. And I was like, so tell me about what you do for work. And she lists all like 5 or 6 things. I was like, when did you do these things? She's like, I'm doing them all now.
Oh my gosh.
And these kids now have to be able to multitask to make a living.
Yeah.
They have to be able to do 6 or 7 things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just to do what she loves, which is songwriting. And I think you should talk more about that, because us in our 50s and 40s, mm-hmm. Having to make this type of pivot, it's a hard pivot, whether it was voluntarily or not.
I didn't feel like it was a hard pivot, though.
See, that's why you should talk about it, because I think that is a good message.
But I think it's also a testament to
we
the
make
support.
It harder.
Yes, but I think it's the support that I have too, and I just want to recognize that I come from a very privileged situation with having a spouse who says we're okay.
Yeah.
Now, had I been in a different situation, like it could have been devastating for me.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful, and maybe that played a part in their role in their decision too. Maybe they're like, she's fine, like, we know she's going to land on her feet, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't care. I don't know, but I would just say, if you do this job, always have boundaries, protect yourself, speak up for yourself, and then always keep not a side hustle, but like something else that you would like to do. Mm-hmm. And always start laying that groundwork.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like, for me, it was like my brand, my personal brand, and my social media, because I love it. And so I always kind of grew that, and I knew that would be part of something for me.
Do you still have NikkiBurdine.com?
Yeah. Yeah.
Still sell books on it?
I do. I have my.
Are you going to write any more grunt books?
Maybe not a grunt book. I might just write another book. I would really like to write like an actual like memoir book.
Yeah.
But that feels a bit. This is when imposter syndrome comes into play. Like I feel a little bit.
What do I have to say?
I'm a 42-year-old. I'm not like a 60-year-old. Like I don't know. Like CEO of a company. What do I have to say? But who knows? Maybe I'll buckle down and do it.
This is what I love about our podcast, that world that we're in right now, mm-hmm. is that every single human being on the face of this planet has a story.
Yes.
They have a journey. They have a path that they've been on, and doing this stuff, you get to talk to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, even here, like I know you're a friend, you're a close friend, but listening to this discussion, I was like, I picked up on a few things there. Yeah.
And I think I will always be honest about this stuff too. Yeah. I'm being transparent about this, because it kind of goes back to me sharing about my disability, about having Tourette's syndrome. Mm-hmm. I share that. It took me a long time to share that, but I share that not because like I think it's cool that I have it. I don't. It's embarrassing and weird, right? Mm-hmm. I share that because there's a little 12-year-old out there who might hear that, oh, this girl who was on the news has Tourette's syndrome. Like, oh, she can do that. I can go do this. I share me being fired, not because I think it's cool, but because if somebody else out there hears that they're going to be okay, and maybe they can take a little bit of positivity or guidance from what I say.
But isn't that been kind of a theme with all the people that we've talked to?
Yes,
Gary
they all share their stories and their hardships.
He shared a story of his son. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Scheck just talking about being an actor who's dyslexic. Mm-hmm. Melissa Ordway talking about having a child who's dyslexic. Jordan Thomas, who lost his legs when he was at the most vulnerable age I think he possibly could be, 15. And now he's thriving in life. All of these things, right?
That we share, if we are strong enough to do it, and not everyone is, and that's okay, right? Immediately. But sharing these things and talking about them, I need to remember that it's not about us bragging or talking about things like, because it's not bragging when you talk about losing your job, right? It's
a hard brag.
Right. It's about sharing with the intention of helping others, because there is a great unity and sharing our stories, because we can help each other.
Well, you just ran out in the front yard and yelled to the world, I got fired. There you go. Cat's out of the bag. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations to you too.
That was a while coming, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Feels like therapy a little bit.
So we talked cryptically when you first got fired, because we didn't want to talk about you getting fired, but we wanted to talk about you leaving. And now you want to talk cryptically about what we're doing next, but would not talk about it exactly? And no, maybe not.
You want to get, this is let's wait till the next one.
Okay, we'll wait till the next one. All right. Everyone, thanks for watching.
Love you. Mean it.